Hello, today I'm going to be talking about the 3D Super Mario games. I'm pretty tired right now, so this video might have like a bit of a low-key ASMR-like quality. I don't know, maybe my voice isn't good for ASMR. Maybe I'm not promising anything, but it's not going to be like super energetic. But yeah, the Super Mario series is obviously fantastic. The 3D games, every single one of them is good, if not great. Some of them are masterpieces, some of them are just like good enough, but they're all pretty unique. Even the ones that aren't as good still stand on their own, I think. And the first game that started it all is not this one. This is a collection of 3 games, but of those, Mario 64. Now, Super Mario 64 is a perfect game to me. The active control is so fun, and it makes the entire game. This control that Miyamoto and his team worked on for, I think, the first 6 months of development definitely paid off, because there's so many cool tricks you can do, and mastering it is so satisfying. I have a bunch of clips of me in just on Nintendo Switch of just like going around trying to in Bomb Battlefield, just trying to get up every single ledge in the most unconventional way possible, like getting up the slopes by doing backwards wall kicks or something. Like, there's so much variety, and the game, it has this magical feeling that I feel like no other game can recapture, because there's just so many things that are there's no distractions. It's just you in the game, and there's this sense of discovery, because there's secrets in Peach's castle everywhere, and in the game you could just look up and then you'd be sent to the clouds with wing cap Mario, and he'd fly around, and at the end of the day the problems don't really make the experience worse, to a point where everything great about the game kind of, like, I see a lot of hot takes about Mario 64 because the game is old, but I think its magical quality and its amazing controls kind of make it timeless, even though the content is very much of an early 3D game, with lots of repeated objectives, especially in the linear levels. This is Mario 3D All-Stars. Today is April 1st is the last day this game will exist, so this is an extremely rare game. I mean, only 6 million of these bad boys exist. On it, people like make fun of the branding, and I think the logo is a little tacky, but I think the blocking is pretty good with how they have the 3 logos and the scenery. On the back, I actually do like this. You've got the game boxes and a screenshot with that game's version of Mario. The inside's okay. It's just like pictures from each game. I like how they have the stars and then the sunshine. Like the getting a star thing. Oh, and I could probably talk about Mario 64 for longer, but I'm guessing I'll talk about it again sometime. Mario 64 is the only one where I don't own the original version of it. I only have it on All-Stars and the DS version. I just never got around to getting the N64 game. The next 3D Mario game is Super Mario Sunshine. Now, this one is a personal favorite. While Mario 64 movement was fun, in Mario Sunshine the movement is so fine-tuned and perfect that playing the game, I could just walk around in Delfino Plaza for hours and just not get bored. There is so much, it's just so fun to control the flood pack, and Mario has so many moves. He has the spin jump, which is fantastic. The wall jump is made better in this game. What else is there? There's the dive, which is so fun to use. You spray water and you go super fast. There's the different nozzles, like the turbo nozzle and the rocket nozzle. Like Mario 64 before, the content is a bit archaic in the way it's given out. But I think the base game, like Mario 64, is great enough to outlast any of those problems. Because when the base gameplay is so good, there's only so much that a bad presentation in terms of content, not really. The game has an amazing presentation when it comes to visuals, but in structure, it's very flawed. This game has so much style. I love the art style. Like, look at the back of this manual. It's got palm trees. The goop is also awesome. Okay, the Chromebook just made a little noise. Like, look at this font. It's so silly, I love it. This is an amazing manual, by the way. I think I look at this in a different video. The GameCube game video. Did I do that? I think I did. I must have. I love this game. I would have talked about them. Yeah, Mario Sunshine. Honestly, just as good as Mario 64. Very flawed, but it's a flawed masterpiece. I have completed this game. The blue coins, those are very contentious, but I'm very split on them because I love them. Getting them is really fun, but getting all of them, as many people have stated, is just not applicable. It's just not fun. It's way too hard. Of course, people have said that there should be like a blue coin tracker, or at least some way to see all the blue coins you're missing, or tell how many are in an area. I think there might be something like that on the map. But it's just very cumbersome. But getting them all is very fun, because they're kind of like the moons from Mario Odyssey. They're just everywhere. So it's just, it's kind of like a little bunch of mini motivations to keep playing and going on. The next game is a port of Mario 64, Mario 64 DS. This one's pretty good. This was the first way I played Mario 64. I got this back in 2012 or 2013 or so on 3DS. It's a very interesting manual. I've also looked at this game in my Looking at DS Games miniseries, which kind of launched this channel in a way. This had a lot of interesting ideas, and some of it actually stuck in Mario Galaxy, like the 5 silver stars. That's about it. But this does have a few interesting ideas, like the multiple characters, that is unique to this version, and kind of gives this game, even though it's a remake, its own identity. It has this weird art style where the colors are just slightly off, but the character models are, I think, better. Has those iconic mini games, of course, and there are so many just small things that you wouldn't really think are in this game, because they're just, I mean, you just don't remember. Like, there was a VS multiplayer mode where you went around and hit each other, and each of the characters had their own strengths. And Wario actually had an exclusive move in that mode where he could throw people. There's even like a little render for it, or at least a picture in the manual. That's the only reason I know about it. This manual is so weird, it's like vertical. Let me find it. Come on. Yeah, character exclusive abilities. There it is. It is called the Swing and Fling. I'm guessing no one has ever used that move even once. Yeah. There are also new levels from this game, which is cool. There's like a Mario Sunshine one, there's an ice one, there's a Poisonous Forest, I think, too. It's a good remake. Just, obviously, the controls aren't as good. And the presentation is very tacky. Like, come on, guys. This is this feels like a PS1 box art, where they take a bunch of 3D models that they think will be look impressive, and then put them in a sort of standard scene, but these just don't age well. I mean, look at those clowns, like, compare that to the genius, beautiful Mario 64 box art, and I know this isn't the real thing, but there's no question. This one is so slick, and it's so funny. It reminds me of a lot of modern 3D artists on Twitter who always have these very simple, appealing, flat textures, and of course they did that on this because they didn't really have a choice, but I just love that style a lot. The next game, I'm getting this right. Yeah. The next game is Super Mario Galaxy. Now, Galaxy is where they took the structure problems from the first two 3D Mario games and rethought the whole thing. This one has a few features from those old games, like stars are still present, you still use them to unlock new levels, there's a few explorative stages in this game, but it is very much the equalizer, I guess, because the way this game divvies out content is by having 2 stars instead of 7 in each level, unless I think some have more, but in those, it's a very linear track and the level will change, which is interesting. The controls in this one aren't as great as the other games, but that's because they had a lot more baggage to deal with. The Wiimote has a bit of a weird layout, so putting all the stuff on that in the nunchuck was probably weird, and they didn't want to compromise the planet gravitation, the planet spinning action, I forget what it's called. This one has the spin jump, which works really well. It's an action that feels pretty good with the Wiimote, like shaking it. There's some, I think, 2D games, shaking the Wiimote, you lose too much control, I guess, or if it's too important. But in a 3D game like this, resetting the momentum and resetting the controller at the same time kind of like pairs together. That motion like works. While in Donkey Kong Country Returns, I think it doesn't. The power-ups in this game were kind of lame. Most of them, none of them were mainstays. A few were in Galaxy 2. This game was definitely a revolution for Mario. This was the point where they kind of finally figured out how to make it work. And you can see this is the first in a series of moves towards linearity. The Mario Galaxy manual is really nice as well. It's not as good as the Sunshine manual, but really what is. The controls in this game, they got rid of some options, like I think the spin jump was absent, the side flip, that might be there, but there were definitely less options, and that was a bit disappointing. But this is still a great game. And the Wiimote stuff, the Wiimote gimmicks are really fun in this game. Like the Pulsar Galaxy's okay, but I really love that one where it's this monkey ball type one, where you hold the Wiimote like a joystick and sort of make it Mario with the stars and like a ball. And there's like this obstacle course you have to put it through. I really like that level. I always come back to it. Some more actions. This game also has a lot of really cool gimmicks, like gameplay design gimmicks. This is either in Galaxy 1 or 2, but the flip switch Galaxy where you shake the Wiimote or you jump in the later games, and there are these red and blue panels, and they sort of switch sides. Like if it's on red, you jump and it'll go to blue, and I love those. They're such a fun gameplay mechanic. And I love how you, even if you go on the wrong one and mistime your jump, you can still save yourself in a weird way, or at least in 3D World and Land. And those beat blocks, I think those are from Galaxy 2, but they are really cool. That's a really weird Mario picture on the bottom, ground pound. Oh, the side somersault is in this game. That's good. Some more moves. The swimming was pretty good in this game too. The swimming in Sunshine was, I hated it. I remember there's this mission with where you have to clean that eel's teeth. That is like the worst mission ever. I hate that one. But the swimming in this game is good, and you can even get a shell to make it better. Here are the power-ups. Ice Mario only looked like that in this game. Later, it has a more traditional look. I guess that's not really a mainstay. It's like, it's completely different from the Ice Flower in the other games. Some other stuff. The way Galaxy sort of frames everything is, it's very scripted. You can adjust the camera, but it's not nearly to the extent as the other games. Most of the levels are linear, they plan out every single camera movement. That must have taken a lot of work, and that's very admirable. I do personally like the older style more, because it sort of makes the amazing control the center of the game, rather than the fun level design, I guess. I'm more of a fan of having the control. The thing is, in a platforming game, there's the balance between making the platforms fun and making the way you traverse the platforms fun. And you can see from the design in these games that sort of push and pull of which is more important is very tricky. Because you have Mario Galaxy is the closest thing you have to a middle ground, and still it very much is about making the platforms fun. You have lots of gimmicks in the scenery and the stages. While in Sunshine and 64, the platforms are pretty basic. Sunshine has some good ones, but in some of the levels, but the main thing that's fun is the movement itself. And you'll see later that they very, very much skew on making the levels fun over the traversal of them. Where was I? This man ray is terrifying. On the bottom. My nose itches a bit right now. Oh, it's just, okay. I think I went through the same manual again, except in French, without noticing. Oops. Oh, you see the extended version of the art there. That's nice. Alright. So Galaxy's a great game. Yeah, it's a great game. And the follow-up, the direct follow-up, is Super Mario Galaxy 2. Now, this game is a bit forgettable. It still has a lot of great ideas, but it's definitely a step down from the first one. There are some new power-ups in this game, and I think they're better than the ones in Galaxy 1. The Yoshi stuff is cute, and the Cloud power-up is probably the most iconic one from the entire Galaxy series. It's the idea of creating your own platforms, which is very novel. This one had brought back Yoshi to the 3D series, and he was pretty good. I liked him a lot there. Let's open this up. The face ship is on the disc, which is cool. Look at this little beginner pamphlet. The green triangle. I don't know why that's there. Why is it there? It's not a European copy. It's a little bit of Yoshi knowledge. Galaxy 1 was the last game to have a really good manual. I can see the extended art there. I like the nebula. I think it's very similar to the other one. Yeah, not that much. These are some interesting renders with Yoshi. You see the balloon one a lot, but the fire and the light one especially, I feel like I haven't seen those very much. The Dash Pepper. Galaxy 2. This one is more linear than the other one. It's basically the full shift. This is the first game where you can really feel they're done with exploration ideas. They add more and more gimmicks. The gimmicks are cool. Again, Yoshi's awesome. They bring back some older ones. It's definitely like good. They have good gimmicks. But the levels themselves are less memorable, and I think that kind of hurts the game in the long run. If you haven't played it though, I recommend it, because the first playthrough of this game is awesome, because it's very much not talked about, so it's like almost like a brand new 3D Mario game, even if it's not perfect. The next game is Super Mario 3D Land. This was the first Mario game I ever played. I got it for the 3DS in 2011, when I was like 9 years old, so I'm very nostalgic for this game. That definitely inflates my opinion, but it's very fun. It's it's Mario stripped down to the core. Even more than 3D World or Galaxy, it's the essence of Mario as a 2D game in 3D. And they advertised that a lot, but this is like the most, I don't want to say, it's not bland, but it's just so Mario, you know? It's that old picture of Mario. Later Mario games in the Wii U era kind of redefined Mario. Like, this is less of that jazzy, I don't know how to explain it. Like, just look at the renders between the two games. Like, the first one, this one is definitely like a relic of the 2000s. Like, that era where Mario is kind of confused. They're going through a lot of styles. They have this very epic game, and now they're scaling it back, and they don't really know how to portray him. And then 3D World, it's very fun. Like, this Mario has different lighting, he's very bright, he moves a bit cartoony in a way, and this is very fun. Like, the logo, this one is almost entirely flat despite being 3D, and this one has a bunch of little details, like different shading, the cat paw and tail. Like, this one is very straight-laced. Like, this is like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want, without being insulting, because as a very stripped-down experience, this is so fun. It brought back the Tanuki suit and the boomerang flower, which is cool. In this one, every single stage is linear, get to the flagpole, that kind of thing. It was a very important title for the 3DS's life, because it was one of the first big Nintendo games that validated its existence, really. This manual is just Mario's face. It's sure is a manual. That old model of the 3DS. Oh man. They did do some interesting things with the level design. They used this idea where that was present in the Galaxy games, but used way better here, where Cosmic Mario, this shadow creature, would chase you, and you'd have to keep on moving, or else he would catch up with you because he follows all of your moves, and he would kill you. This game uses it so well, and it's in so many levels. I love when these games, the linear ones, are at their best, when they're forcing you to do something quickly. I don't know why, but just playing these games quickly is very satisfying. I guess that's why speedrunning is so popular in the other games, but in this one, the linear nature and the addition of having a timer kind of makes me want to complete the levels faster. I remember when I was little, I'd play through the first level over and over again, trying to get like lower than 20 seconds or something, because it's a very short level. And for my attention span, it really helped. This one has a decent amount of content. Definitely worth a look for curiosity's sake, but it's very much, I don't know, it's an interesting first Mario game for me to play, because it's so insignificant, but also it's so Mario. It's so basic, you know? I mean, it's kind of I don't know, its tricks, a lot of them are from Galaxy too. You have the beat blocks, you have the switch panels, you have the Cosmic Mario, you have the other stuff. It's a good game, though. This one, okay, I'm kind of backpedaling, but a lot of the enemies in these newer games were a little bit boring, but starting with 3D Land and 3D World, they kind of upped their game on how cool a lot of the enemies were. This one introduced the coin coffer, who I'm a fan of. The next game is Super Mario 3D World. Now, I didn't really give this game a fair shot, as many people did. I liked it enough when I played it back in 2013. But upon replaying it recently, this game is really good. It's the most polished Mario game, I think, ever. There is... Look at that. Maybe not ever. This game is just extremely fun to play. And at the end of the day, for Nintendo at the time, that was their goal. A lot of their games were focused on being just fun and not much else. But this game is so fun and has a lot of character. Like, unlike 3D Land, this one kind of feels alive in a way, which maybe scared me off from it at first, because I like that stripped down experience, but this one has some good level themes, it has some great music, very jazzy, it has a lot of new ideas, like the clear pipes are awesome, the cat suit is wonderful, what else? The double cherry is cool. They have a lot of train levels, which I think might be a reference to Wario Land, maybe? If it is, that's awesome, but I doubt it. They have gamepad gimmicks. Oh, this one introduces the Ant Troopers. You gotta love the Ant Troopers. They're great enemies. I love the different characters. My favorite is Toad, because Toad is a beast in more ways than just one. Yeah, I'm kind of finding it hard to find things to say about this game, because the recent port has made a lot of people talk about it again, and I almost don't have that much to add, unfortunately. But 3D World is a great game, and a kind of an underrated turning point, where Mario went from being this kind of sterilized mascot as he had been in the Wii days, and he sort of started becoming more fun. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but from this point on, looking at like everything related to Mario just started being fun again. There was a long period where Mario became this yearly franchise, and a lot of people were fatigued. Like, I think the order was like, you had New Super Mario Bros. Wii, which was one of the most bland Mario games ever, and then you had Galaxy 2, which was a bit of a disappointment and a step down from the first one, even though it wasn't bad. Then 3D Land, which was so stripped down, and then New Super Mario Bros. U and 2, which are pretty commonly criticized. And then this game came out, and I guess the fatigue had set in already, and people didn't give it a chance, but it's like an old Mario game. It has that, it's so much fun. After that, there's a bit of a break in Mario games. I didn't really talk about the time between them, but the time between a lot of those games was very short. But Odyssey came out 4 or so years after 3D World, and I have not decided what I think about this game yet. The first time I played it, I was ecstatic. As a fan of the 3D Mario games, the classic ones, it was a dream come true. The capture mechanic was fun, collecting stuff was pretty cool, the worlds were awesome. I really liked the Luncheon Kingdom. Oh, what's the other good one? I love the Lost Kingdom. I love the... what's it called? The Forest one is also good. But, oh, New Donk City is also amazing. Going back, every time I go back to play this game, I just can't get that far into it, because it's not as engaging the second time. I don't know why. I want to chalk that up. I don't want to say there's anything definitively wrong with the game yet, but I definitely want to explore what I feel about this game later on. Yeah, so, not really, don't have a good take on this game yet. It's weird, though. I think, if I was to make, like, an early, like, guess, I think the way it's set up to have, like, so much content, but having a lot of it be, like, similar, makes you want to keep playing it again and again in the first playthrough, but makes the second one feel like you're kind of sleepwalking, like, oh, I've already done all this before, and even then, when the first time you played it, you do the same stuff a lot, so it's like, I don't know, it doesn't feel great that way, but it's so, like, another Mario game that just feels fun. Like, they have music sequences with, in New Donk City, where just you have all this cool music, you have all these wacky characters like Glydon, the tropical wigglers are awesome, there's so many cool enemies, there's so many funny captures and costumes. This one is just, I love how they try to make everything weird. I appreciate that a lot. A lot of the worlds are very iconic and innovative, like New Donk City is an amazing level. So they're obviously, the Cap Kingdom is awesome. It's just, the Mario Sunshine world's also good with those, like, octopus guys. Yeah, so, very mixed on this game, in terms of a ton of good things and a ton of potentially bad things. But I don't really know how much those really weigh on each other. It's kind of a lot of, like, it's kind of the same issue, the same question as the first games, where a lot of people, is the control good enough to justify the problems? Is the experience of playing good enough to justify how the content is sort of divided weirdly? And I don't know the answer to that right now, but I'll play through this again at some point. And that is every 3D Super Mario game. I have not played Bowser's Fury yet. I very much want to. It looks awesome. But the 3D Mario series is remarkably consistent. It is usually their top game, one of their top games. A lot of their big games are Mario games. You can tell that they have high priority games. It's hard to explain the way Nintendo works internally without kind of vigorously study the games, but the games that they don't have any co-development help with, or very limited, you can tell those are the ones they care about way too much. Like, off the top of my head, in the Wii U era, there was Mario Kart, Pikmin, Star Fox Zero, Breath of the Wild, and, like, 3D World. Like, those are their big games. And Mario gets a lot of those slots, and those games are always extremely polished. Sometimes they're a bit Star Fox Zero-y, but that's usually not the case. And the 3D Mario games are all awesome. I wish I had a greater thesis, but Mario is just fun. I love platformer games, I love Mario games, and that's all.